For here on ABC television. Handshake for the semifinal game. 42 championships between the two pros. 21 titles for Marshall Holman, to whom you're looking, and the same for Pete Weber, who has 2 victories today.
Number 1 and 2 all-time professional bowling semifinal match.
What a stubborn 4.
Pete Weber has won his matches by keeping the ball in play, not getting the big open frames, and letting his opponent defeat themselves.
Fair for Pete Weber. Now, first time today in competition, you get a look at 39-year-old Marshall Holman. 21 titles, PBA Hall of Famer. Leaving a 2-4.
Not a bad shot shooting out of the chute. He's been having some trouble getting the big power, but Holman absolutely a little shorter with his backswing than we normally see, but everything in perfect position. I believe fundamentally, for power, accuracy, arm swing, and approach, the best I've ever seen.
Articulate. He bubbles. And here you see the all-time earnings leaders. Not much difference. If Marshall should win today and Pete lose this game they're playing now, Marshall would regain the number 1 spot because it's $43,013 for losing this game.
A little arithmetic, $18,307 difference, and that's American dollars, not Canadian.
There's the Marshall Holman that we've gotten to know from Medford, Oregon. Last win was in Venice, Florida in 1988. He's been on 17 telecasts since his last win.
Weber up near the top all week long, 42 games, 18 qualifying, 24 finals, and he's defeated 2 opponents. This is the semifinal. Weber just out of time on that particular shot. His arm got a little bit away from his body. He cut right across. Look at, he cut across his body. Instead of getting it out near the 3rd arrow, it was close to the 4th arrow. Never gave it a chance. The 3-6-10. Now, Pete Weber on the right-hand lane is playing right around between the 3rd and 4th arrows. And on this lane here, he's trying to get the ball right around the 3rd arrow, and you slide in this zone and use a little bit less speed because this lane is tighter.
Strikes coming into this semifinal match, Pete Weber. And there is the first of this game.
Marshall Holman defeated Pete Weber in the 42nd final game last night with an exciting 250 game. Let's see what happens today.
Marshall takes a 13-pin lead.
Besides his great natural ability, Holman has 2 things I think he does as well as anybody I've ever seen play the game. Number 1, he keeps his head nice and steady. There's no bobbing up and down. And number 2, he has the golden arm swing, always in line with his target. He opens the right shoulder, the right hip, but they're always parallel to his arm swing and to the target line. He has a 13-pin lead, can make it 23.
All but a 7. For handicap golfer, Weber has a handicap of 9.
Here's that real good swing. Doesn't catch all the lift, but once again, a game played with a round ball, i.e. bowling, is 95% accuracy. Holman put the ball in play, and he gets away with an easy spare.
Okay, our semifinal game, about a 3rd way through, a 12-pin lead by Marshall Holman. Toronto is home to Casa Loma, a majestic landmark. It's the legacy of Canadian financier Sir Henry Mill Pilat. This is the Round Room. Can't corner him there, can you? And this is a conservatory. We're looking at Alessandra Scarpitti, whose dad is mayor of Markham, Ontario, Canada. There's Dad, Mr. Mayor. And the leading man in the average department, too, is Walter Ray Williams, Jr., 226. Here he is.
Thanks, Chris. I'm here with Mike, the all-time money leader without a title. You're going to have to bowl one of the all-time money leaders. How's it looking out there?
Well, they're both great players, but I'm just going to have to bowl my own game. I'm just going to bowl myself 10 frames and see what happens.
Well, you bowled great yesterday, especially last night, so I think if you take that strategy, you'll be right there.
I think so, too.
Oh, and then came a scout.
Weber gets a great break. It'll probably be the 3-pin off the right sideboard. There it goes to the sideboard and takes out the 4. Unusual pin action. He puts Marshall Holman in arrears by 8.
Oh, tough break. Tough.
Well, you're entitled to one mistake every championship round game. Marshall's gotten his out of the way. Make the 4-7. Forget about it. Just get over in here, bounce, gets these 2 out. Forget about bouncing it out and get back on with the business of throwing some strikes. Now here's a key frame for Marshall Holman. A great player like Marshall doesn't go into a slump physically. He goes into a slump mentally. He needs a good frame or two here for his confidence to realize that he is still one of the best in the world.
2-5 for Marshall Holman, whose most recent TV was 4th seed, and he finished 4th in the AC Delco.
Slides by on the left-hand lane, the tighter of the 2 lanes, leaves the 2-5. Has a different spare-making technique, which has worked for him. He throws a top spin shot. Watch this. Cuts the hook way down. Marshall's hand just comes right over the top of the ball. That's an ineffective roll, and that's what you need to make spares. But he's opened the door for Pete Weber, 3 in a row, and take a 32-pin lead, 6th frame.
All but a 7.
The wall shot. Weber sends the ball a little bit wider than we've seen during the other games. Head pin to sideboard. Doesn't take out the 7.
The 34th consecutive season of the Professional Bowlers Tour will kick off Saturday, January 14th in 1995. Strike coming in the 7th frame of the semifinal game. Pete Weber leading by 21.
Really?
Coming by 21 pins, going against Pete Weber, who has 2 victories already today.
Watch Holman steady all the way through with those head and shoulders. Oh. Watch Holman's just nice and steady all the way through. It's one of the things that has made him so great over the years. I do believe the greatest players of all time have kept that head in a parallel as they could to their approach and the floor.
Yes, these great players get coaching, like Marshall attributes his success in the last 4 weeks, especially to Dave Smart, David Ozio, and John Jowdy. And Pete credits John Jowdy and Billy Hall.
Right now, Pete, realizing he has a 22-pin lead. However, there's a potential 224 left in Marshall Holman, and that could squeeze Weber if he can throw some strikes. Boy, those last two shots.
Yes. Beautiful.
Those were confident swings by Marshall Holman. He got a bad break in the 8 frame where he left a solid 8, but he can still win this match and the tournament. Weber still has to perform to stay ahead of Holman.